majority of white Americans agree with corporal punishment. A majority of Southerners agree. Midwesterners, too. This is something that goes on. On the cosmopolitan coasts, this is shocking to people. But there's paddling, there's whipping with belts, there's switching with switches, there's spanking, and this is something that we need to have a debate about. I would say to anybody, because I was corporally punished, kids today, you don't have to do that. Just take their iPod from them.
You might be right. What was once a part of growing up has now become a real sticking point for parents. Corporal punishment, the smack on the butt here, the slap across the face there, and sometimes much more physical and damaging. It all came into focus when Adrian Peterson from the NFL was excoriated for doing to his kid what was done to him as a child, using a switch. And it's leaving more than a few parents confused about what's proper, what gets the job done, and where that line is to discipline a child as one sees fit. Switches down, pay attention. Our first guest is chair of Corinne's Quest, the Canadian organization seeking to once and for all end the physical punishment of children, Kathy Lynn, along with the world-renowned singer-songwriter and author who has spent a lifetime entertaining children, who has agreed to join the steering committee at Corinne's Quest, Raffi. Raffi and Kathy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Raffi, I'm going to get to you in a moment, but I want to start with Kathy here and give her a chance to first tell us about Corinne's Quest. Why start this? What was the impetus for you to get this done?
Well, in fact, this is a topic that's been of interest to me ever since I started my speaking business back in 1978. I am a parenting speaker, but I'm now at a stage in my life where I'm semi-retired, and I've taken this issue and moved it, in fact, from the corner of my desk to the center of my desk. I think it's way past time when we need to be doing this. We just need to stop hitting kids, and then we're going to have a much healthier group of young adults coming up behind us.
Raffi, you have worked with kids your entire career. There are kids around the world that when they hear the name and hear your music and hear about you, their eyes just light up immediately at all corners of the globe. So you've worked with kids so often. What was it that made you say, look, this is becoming a problem and I can make a difference and I've got to get involved?
Well, I've not only been a singer for children, but I've also been a children's advocate for a long time. I call myself a children's champion. And I founded the Center for Child Honoring in Canada. It's a nonprofit that looks at how we treat the very young as the key to create humane and therefore peaceful, sustainable societies. One of the 9 child honoring principles is nonviolence. And when it comes to children, if you keep in mind that a child is a person, what I say is, we don't hit people, do we? It's not okay to hit people. Why would you hit a child? It's not okay. We need to do away with these loopholes that allow the corporal punishment of children.
What about those parents, and I'm sure you've heard it, here it comes, it's what every parent says, Raffi, I got smacked, I turned out pretty good, what's good for me should be good for my kid.
Let me speak to that. I got smacked too, and it wasn't good for me at all. It took a lot of therapy, actually, to come to terms with the bewilderment I felt at my parents, who clearly loved me, but they felt it was okay to hit me. And you know, I felt totally frustrated and really hurt by their actions at times. Otherwise, loving parents. So my point is this: we don't need to hit children. There is a positive discipline framework that we can bring into play. And in fact, if folks go on my Center for Child Honoring website, it's childhonoring, HONOURING.org. They can click on the Parents menu, look at the menu Resources, and there scroll down to find positive discipline. We have a PDF of an entire book on how you can meet your discipline needs at home positively.
Well, let me do this. Let me address this to Kathy here. I got about 2.5 minutes left. I want to make sure we get in for parents, Kathy, who are absolutely frustrated at this point. You heard the soundbite coming in, take away their iPod, but parents can't just put kids in timeout anymore. What are they supposed to do to get their attention?
Well, you know, it's interesting because timeout is really a type of discipline which has been abused because we're using it almost like jail. You know, you put the kid away somewhere for an X amount of time. What we need to be doing is teaching our kids right from wrong. We need to teach them what the consequences are when they misbehave. So, for example, if they leave their bike lying on the driveway, they lose the right to that bike. It's connected, you see, and now they're learning if you want to have a bike, there's a responsibility associated with it. And once you get really good at that, it's really effective, and you're teaching your children. You are not hurting your children.
Raffi, I'm going to use an analogy here, and believe me, this comes from experience. There's a lot of times when you take your dogs to dog training, they say that you're teaching your dogs. Well, no, you're actually teaching the parents. You're teaching the people themselves. So aren't we at the point now, Raffi, where we've got to do that? You're not just teaching the kid, but you're teaching the parents how to work with the kid, and that's really what you need to do.
That's an interesting point, because parents need to learn to know what brings out the best in their children. They need to know what tone of voice to use. Sometimes, I'm sure you've seen this in supermarkets, sometimes the child will be calling for the parent's attention 4, 5, 6 times. Finally, the parent gets exasperated and can turn around and smack the child. I say, listen to the child the first time, or at least the second time. Respond. Don't wait till it gets to that point where you just can't stand it anymore. These are children who love you, who depend on your love. And they're not there trying to make you go crazy. They're just there with needs and questions. And parenting is tough, but we need to do the adult thing, the responsible thing, and respond to our children.
They're the next generation. No matter how you look at them, what you imprint on a kid will stay with them for life, and it moves through the rest of their lives as well. I wish we had hours to talk, because really we could do that. I appreciate both of you being here. I hope we do this again. I want to remind everybody, Corinne'sQuest.ca, and also Raffi's website, Child Honoring, that's HONOURNIG.org. Thank you both for being here. Good luck. Let's talk again.
Thank you very much. We appreciated it.
It is our pleasure. Take care. Stay with us. The Money Master. Well, now that you learned how to take care of your kids, take care of your money. Next on MidPoint.